Wednesday Season 2 is officially over, so it's time to rank every character from both Season 1 and Season 2. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today, I've got a big old tier list ranking of all the characters from Wednesday Season 2 and Season 1. I want to emphasize these are just the major characters. You'll see what I mean lead into. I've got about 30 plus characters here, so I have a good chunk. I don't have every character who's ever been on screen, but I have the most important ones. And if I somehow forgot one that you think should have been on this list, let me know in the comments down below. But with Wednesday Season 2 coming to a close and the official off-season beginning as we wait for Season 3, I figured this would be a fun video to sort of tie a bow on the Season 2 discussion and also reflect back on some of the best characters from Season 1 as well. So before I get into this, hit that like button, comment down below what tiers you would place these characters from Wednesday in, and of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It means quite a bit. And if you guys want to fill out your own version of this tier list and share it with me, you can do so. It is linked in the description of this video as well as the pinned comment. So if you want to fill out your own tier list, you can do that, screenshot it, tag me on Instagram at FilmStocked, and I will repost that to my story. But without further ado, I say we just get down to business. So the tiers I have are your standard tiers, right? S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier. I've got about 36 characters here, fully randomized. I say we get down to it. First up, we've got Enid Sinclair, one of the main characters of the show, played by Emma Myers. Werewolf, who is now an alpha, and at the end of Season 2, she is stuck in werewolf form, so Wednesday and Uncle Fester are on the quest to find her. I love the dynamic she has with Wednesday. I think they're perfect roommates and friends. They balance each other out really well. They couldn't have more opposite of personalities and interests, but that's what makes for such great chemistry between the two of them. Enid, unquestionably an S-tier character, and if you don't have her up there, you're wild. Next, we have Pugsley Addams. This is Wednesday's little brother, a character who hit a major growth spurt between Seasons 1 and 2 in real life, so obviously they just wrote that into the show. Pugsley finds himself in some trouble in Season 2, right? He has less to do in the first season, but in Season 2, he's directly responsible for resurrecting Slurp and creating this zombie figure that he named Slurp, but in reality, that's Isaac Knight. That's the big bad villain of Season 2 who's got some bad blood with his parents, little did he know. Anyway, Pugsley's a character who has some moments to shine. I would say he's maybe one of my least favorites of the Addams family, though. I don't know. I would go like B. The highest I would go with him is B. The more I think about it, you know, with Pugsley, let's see. I think I'll go C tier. Yeah, C tier. He does a lot of dumb things in Season 2 where I'm like, what are you doing, man? I want to shake him through the camera and be like, get your act together. Next up, we have Miss Capri, a character who's quite suspicious. At the end of Season 2, we see her riding off with Tyler as she basically recruited him to seemingly join a pack of hides. She's also half hide, half werewolf, apparently. Crazy things are going to happen with her next season, I sense it. This is a character who we don't know much about, there's that mystery aspect, but I felt like as a character they didn't fully dive into her, they're saving her for Season 3. I'm going to put her in C tier as well. She just didn't have a ton to do for me, and she wasn't one of the most interesting this season. She was always on the suspect list for me, especially in like Season 2 Part 1, but overall she's just like a fine character, you know, she's whatever. Next we have Judy Stonehurst, daughter of Augustus Stonehurst, who has her big ghost face killer reveal type moment at the end of Part 1, where she's revealed to be an avian who's kind of been controlling everything that's been going on in the first half of the season. Season 2, that is. I'm going to say this character is like D for me. The reveal was cool, but the character's reveal didn't really lead to much. She's offed pretty quickly in the back half of the season and takes a major back seat. I'm going to say D tier. There was a lot of potential with her. The reveal genuinely was kind of shocking. I didn't expect her to be who she was, but all in all, they didn't really go anywhere with her character, so I feel like D tier is appropriate. Next up, we've got Bruno, one of the love interests this season for Enid. There's a bit of a love triangle going on, and with Bruno, this guy got harder and harder to like as the season progressed. I am not a Bruno fan. Honestly, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel or what the consensus on this character is, but especially after Part 2 when it's revealed that he was lying to Enid and actually was basically cheating on her, it's a huge ordeal. I mean, this he's kind of a scumbag, let's be honest. I'm going F tier with Bruno. I don't know if that's too harsh. It might be, but my allegiance lies to Ajax over Bruno when it comes down to who I think Enid should end up with. So Bruno, sorry bud, F tier. Next, we have Professor Orloff. I love this casting because he's played by Christopher Lloyd, who plays Doc Brown, one of my favorite movie characters of all time. Great Scott! 1.21 watts, Marty! I love to quote that movie. I got a little mini Back to the Future shrine right here. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's in the top 4 on Letterboxd, baby. This character, though, didn't do much. I thought the character design was cool. It's almost like they used CGI to sort of project Christopher Lloyd's face onto a blank head, like a dummy head. But the character has some words of wisdom and helps out in the back half of the season more so than anything, but I still can't say this is like a good character or even a fine character. Such minimal screen time, not much to do. Cool character design. I love Christopher Lloyd, but I am going to go D tier with that character. Next, we have Principal Dort, who's played by Steve Buscemi so well. Steve Buscemi excels at playing these slimeball characters in like most movies he's cast in. And then you have to remember, he's Randall from Monsters, Inc. If you didn't know, this is the voice of Randall from Monsters, Inc., Monsters University. So he's slimy in that movie, literally. Anyway, when it comes to Dort, his big reveal is that he was, in fact, the founder of Morning Song, which is a cult that obviously Bianca Barclay's mom is intertwined in. So he's always had shady motivations, and he's just trying to screw Wednesday's grandma out of her fortune, essentially. So he's a scumbag, and that's kind of easy to read through in retrospect. The character didn't do a lot for me, but I will say Steve Buscemi, the actor, has this screen presence with the character. There's so much mystery around him that he's inherently one of the more interesting new additions to the cast. I'm going to say C tier right here. I'll go with Principal Dort. I mean, do I like the character? No. If we're going off straight up likability, he'd probably be an F tier, but I'm looking at the character as a whole, right? My personal take on the character, but also like the writing and the role they play in the season. To me, Dort was a fine enough sort of villain character, so I don't think he should be any lower than C. Next up, we have Goody Addams, such a weird character to address because this is Wednesday's spirit guide in season 1, also played by Jenna Ortega, but it's not like this character has a lot of scenes in the present day. She's basically just a ghost the entire time who's guiding Wednesday, and she doesn't have the most scenes, so I would probably put Goody in C tier as well. I would still go like right here with Goody. I think, you know, middle of the pack for C tier. She has some awesome moments, but there's nothing really special about her character that warrants her being higher than that. And again, C tier is not a bad tier. It's just like, yeah, they're fine, you know, they could have better moments. They have a few standout scenes, but it's not like they're doing anything special. That's kind of where I'm at with C tier, so I feel like Goody is appropriate there. Next up, we have Agnes, a character whose introduction alarmed me. I wasn't sure about them taking the direction of, oh, Wednesday has this super fan and it's another student Nevermore. That kind of jarred me at first. I was like, oh, we're really going down this path? However, in season 2, part 2, I think she had one of the strongest character arcs, as she herself feels like an outcast, feels like a loner with no friends. The great moment of her going to like the support group led by Professor Orloff, where, you know, Thing is there and other like limbs are there, but she still goes there and feels seen. Then ultimately she ends up having the dance scene with Enid, and by the end she really does feel accepted with Wednesday and Enid, and she's welcomed in as sort of part of the crew. I ended up really liking this character. I would go B tier with Agnes. I think she was a nice new addition. If you had asked me after the first 4 episodes of the season, she'd probably be a lot lower, but I really like how they concluded her character. Next up, we've got Sheriff Galpin. This is the father of Tyler, someone who's always on the hunt for Wednesday Addams and expects nothing out of her in season 1. He's always like, what's she up to? She's up to no good. He's trying to crack the case in season 1, and in season 2 he actually bites the dust pretty early on, so RIP to the man. But he still shows up in a couple flashback and like dream vision sequence type moments. When it comes to Sheriff Galpin, he's another one of those characters who's really important to the narrative and moving the plot forward in season 1. He's not one of my personal favorites by any means. He gets under my skin a lot of the times, but he's got a lot of trauma with you know, his wife and these hidden secrets within his family. I'm gonna go B tier with him. I'll put him like right here. I think that's appropriate because he's a solid character, right? He's in the B tier. He's not like really good or great, but I would say solid for Sheriff Galpin, and he is important to season 1 and the events that go down. Next, we have Dr. Kimbot, another one of those characters who's important to season 1. She's super high up on the suspect list. In fact, Wednesday thinks that she is in cahoots with the Hyde, and then they hit us with a fake out and she gets killed by the Hyde. So that's really when predictions went out the window, and it felt like we had no idea who was really responsible for all this madness that was going down in season 1. I'll also probably put Kinbot in either B or C tier. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, it's a tough call. I think I'd say, shoot, we'll go, you know what? We'll go top of C. We'll go top of C with Kinbot. Again, she is Wednesday's like therapist in a sense, the person that Wednesday has to meet with. She ends up biting the dust. She was kind of a red herring all along, right? The show made us want to think, oh, she's a villain for sure. She ended up being innocent. Next up, we've got Eugene Ottinger, I believe is how his last name is pronounced. This is a character who had a huge jump in age from season 1 to season 2 in real life, and that obviously shows in the character, but when it comes down to it, I much prefer season 1 Eugene to season 2 Eugene. If we were just basing this off season 1 Eugene, he'd be super high. factoring in season 2, he undeniably takes a back seat, unfortunately. They didn't give him much to do, and he wasn't as warm and accepting as he was in season 1. He's, you know, that loner kid in season 1 who befriends Wednesday, and they have this fun, quirky relationship. Well, here, he isn't doing much. He's kind of adverse to welcoming Pugsley into his life, and he doesn't have much to do. So it's hard to balance those two. I think, again, if we were just going off season 1, I'd go A tier, but because he takes a pretty drastic step down in season 2, I'm gonna go B tier with him. I'm still gonna put him at the top of B tier, because season 1 Eugene is like the man, but season 2 Eugene, he really took a dip in likability, and just his role wasn't as prominent. Next up, we've got Slurp, or should I say Isaac Knight. This is revealed to be the big bad villain of Season 2 in Part 2. In fact, this is a character who was in cahoots with Gomez, literally tried to kill him by using his powers for an experiment, selfishly, just so that Isaac could get the Hyde personality out of his sister, Francoise, who we'll talk about later. He's evil, and in fact, one of the major reveals of the season is that his right hand is Thing. Huge Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets type of reveal right there. This is a solid villain who has a well fleshed out backstory. The surprise reveal of Slurp being Isaac worked for me. And this is just someone who has clear-cut motivations. He's now got a vendetta against Morticia and Gomez because of them essentially killing him and then secretively burying him. And then, of course, he wants to come back and he wants to get the Hyde out of his sister. So I'm going to go B tier. He's a solid villain. I'll put him like right here. Oh, that's not him. There we go. Boom. I'll put him right there. Again, there are better characters. I think he is one of the better villains in the show, though. Next up, we have Lurch. How Alfred is to Batman, that's what Lurch is to the Addams family. He's basically just their butler, caretaker, who drives them around, does work around the house. There's not much characterization with him. He's basically looks like a walking corpse. So I would say Lurch is like C tier. I wouldn't want to like put him in F or D. He doesn't have a lot going for him, honestly, but I feel like he's just iconic enough to land a spot in C tier. So I'll go, maybe even too high. I'll put him in C tier, like right in the back for now, just because he probably deserves a spot there, but he doesn't have much going for him, in all honesty. And of course, next up is Wednesday, who the show is named after. She's played by Jenna Ortega. By far the best character in the show. The performance is electric every season. In season 2, she actually got to play around with the character and do some different things, notably in episode 6, which was the body swap episode. She got to shine there. You could tell she was having some fun. I'm going top of S tier. She is the face of the show, quite literally, and her performance is riveting stuff. I mean, Jenna Ortega is a star. She makes the show what it is. Of course, her character is S tier. Next, we have Rosaline Rotwood, played by Lady Gaga, who I believe will be back in season 3 and potentially playing Aunt Ophelia. They never showed us Aunt Ophelia's face. We see the backside of her in season 2, the very end of the last episode. Rosaline Rotwood is like this ghost figure, and allegedly they're living in Rotwood's house, but I feel like there was so much vagueness with that character, almost intentionally, that they're going to do some retconning, and there's going to be a big reveal in season 3 that like Rosaline Rotwood is just an alias or a secret name for Aunt Ophelia, and I don't know how that's going to function. I really have no clue what's going to work out there, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's a reveal in season 3 that Aunt Ophelia is actually Rosaline Rotwood. Don't ask me how or why, it's just a theory. In terms of the character, doesn't have much to do. Barely shows up this season. I'm going D tier with her, probably like right back here. I wouldn't say F tier just because it's Lady Gaga, truly. But there is not much going on with Rosaline Rotwood. Kind of underwhelmed, really, with her role. Next, we have Joseph Crackstone, who is, of course, central to the villainous plotline of season 1, but I don't have much great to say about this character. I'll put him in D, like right there, probably feels appropriate. Next, we have Morticia Addams, mother of Wednesday Addams, who has a big role in season 2. I'm honestly gonna say I'm factoring in the moment she has with Wednesday. They have this great mother-daughter relationship. They kind of go back and forth and disagree oftentimes. There's secrets withheld from Wednesday by Morticia, but ultimately I think Morticia's scenes just have a lot of meat on the bone and really add to the depth of the Addams family. I'm going A tier. I'm going A tier with Morticia. She's just... there we go. She's an iconic character, the mother of the Addams family. I gotta say, A tier for her. Next up, we've got Ajax, who I quite like. I think this character was underused in season 2, but in season 1, Ajax was kind of the man. He still has his moments to shine here as he, turns Dort to stone and essentially kills him. I'm going A tier with Ajax. I'll put Ajax at the top of A tier. I think he's one of the cooler characters who wasn't used enough. And I really hope we get more Ajax in season 3 because he's quite likable. And I'm wondering if Enid and Ajax are going to end up together or not. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Next we have Sheriff Santiago, mainly from season 2, but also in season 1 a good bit. I would say when it comes to this character, another one of those like B to C tier range characters, which is fine. Not every character can be, you know, really good or great. She doesn't have the most to do. She's filling in for Galpin, obviously, as sheriff. I just don't know, you know, aside from being the front person for these investigations and always being called into the scene of the crime, what more is there really? I don't know. I feel like we need more depth with her. I'm gonna go right here in C tier probably. Right about there feels good. Next up, we have Principal Weems, played by Gwendolyn Christie. What a pleasant surprise it was to have her back in the back half of season 2. I thought she was great. She brings this electric performance. Her and Wednesday's dynamic is great, especially because she becomes Wednesday's spirit guide. I'm going A tier with Principal Weems. I think in season 1, she's another one of those characters where you don't really know where her motivations lie. You don't know if she's one of the good guys, one of the bad guys, but ultimately you see she's in the right, and then she ends up dying, basically for the school in a way, if you want to view it like that. She died for Nevermore and for the greater good, and now she's back as Wednesday's spirit guide, giving her wisdom from beyond. I'm going A tier. I'll put her in the back of A tier. Next up, we have Dr. Fairburn, a character who dies, and another one that was set up like to be this major villain and kind of went nowhere. I mean, I'm putting her in D tier. I never really bought in. This was some part 1 stuff, and I thought part 2 of season 2 was a lot stronger, so I'll put her like right here. I think that maybe even Orloff can go right here just because it's Christopher Lloyd. You know what? We're putting him at the top because he's freaking Doc Brown, all right? Let me be. Great Scott! Next, we have Tyler Galpin, who is the Hyde as well in season 1. Great villain, great performance here. You buy into this guy who has a traumatic past. He's a very disturbed individual. In season 1, he's quite likable. You're like rooting for him and Wednesday to end up together romantically. He sets up this whole like sweet date where they watch Legally Blonde as a horror movie. I loved all that stuff. And then the big twist is that he is the Hyde, and in season 2, he's locked up, he's full-on villain, he's trying to kill Wednesday and Enid, but at the end of season 2, Wednesday lets him go. So it's like, what are we doing here? Is he gonna have a change of heart, a change of allegiance? Does he have goodness in him? Does he want to change his ways? It's so hard to predict. I don't know what's gonna happen with him in season 3. I feel like he's ultimately gonna end up dying when the show ends, but only time will tell. I would say this character is one of the better in the show. From the romance in season 1 all the way to his motivations as a villain in season 2, I gotta say he's S tier. I'm putting him up there. I think he is one of the best characters the show has to offer, and just the dynamic he has with Wednesday, the performance that can, you know, go from like teen heartthrob to killer psycho mentality. It's impressive stuff, so I'm definitely gonna say S tier for Tyler Galpin. Next up, we have Rowan, a character whose death is essentially the catalyst for all the events in season 1. I'm gonna put Rowan in like, I don't know, C or D tier. He really doesn't have much to do except die. And then basically his death is used as the device that launches the plot forward. I'm gonna go D tier with Rowan. I'll put him like right here probably. You know, fine, I guess. Not even though. He's whatever. Next we have the grandma of the Addams family, Hester Frump. This character, I don't know what to expect after season 2. The very end, we see her going down to like a locked room in her basement, and she looks like Aunt Ophelia is locked up. Is she gonna have a villainous turn? Who's to say? I would go B tier with her. I'd put her like right here probably. We'll go like right here with her. That feels appropriate. Always has some good moments with Wednesday, especially giving her some tips, some advice, but she knows a lot. She's got a lot of money. You can never trust people like that. And as Morticia says, there are some dark secrets with the Addams family past. Feel like in season 3, we're gonna get flashbacks with the grandma that really put a lot of things into perspective. Next, we have Xavier, a character who's only in season 1 and got written off the show because of things going on in the real world with the actor, some controversy, but I'm just talking about the character here. I thought Xavier was a great supporting character. Him and Wednesday, again, had a relationship that I quite admired, and there was a bit of like a love triangle of sorts in season 1 with Xavier and Wednesday, and then Tyler and Wednesday. I'm gonna say Xavier is like almost an S tier character for me. In fact, I think I will. Am I crazy for that? Maybe I am, but I'm putting him in S tier. I'm going like right here. I'm right here. I'll say it, guys. Xavier was awesome. And of course, I wish this character could have come back. I feel like the show is a bit different without him. Seems like he's not going to be coming back to the show, but the character was so great. His abilities as an outcast are fascinating, the way they play directly into the plot. he got this charm to him, and he was a likable guy. Of course, I'm upset the character isn't in the show anymore because I thought he was one of the best parts of season 1, and I felt season 1 had maybe a better supporting cast than season 2, at least in part 1. Next, we have Bianca Barclay's mom, Gabrielle, I believe her name is, who's intertwined with Morning Song. Honestly, I might throw her an F tier just because she has like no screen time. She's not the greatest mother at times, and she's not the most likable. I don't know. She's fine. I like D or F, but I need to fill out some F tier characters. I'd say I'll put her in like D, I guess. I'll put her at the back of D tier. Next, we have Lucas. This character is in season 1. You know, they want you to feel bad for him, but then he ultimately ends up caving and still pouring the fake blood everywhere all over the dance.
They couldn't even spring for real pig's blood.
I'd go D tier with him as well, probably right here. So next up, we've got Thornhill, who obviously ends up being Laurel Gates. The big reveal of season 1 is that she is the villain. I quite like the reveal. The actress, I believe, actually plays Wednesday in earlier iterations of the Addams Family, so that's a cool Easter egg callback for hardcore fans of Addams Family stuff. I'm gonna say this is a solid character, in my opinion. Really well written. I'm going A tier, I'd say, just in terms of like a villain, in terms of her motivation. It's so well written, and I'm going back of A tier with her. I think she is one of the standouts of season 1, and of course she dies in season 2 pretty early on, but it was still nice to see her back. Next, we have Thing. You guys know Thing is going in S tier. Thing is one of the best characters in the show, and he's just a hand. I love the animation, the visual effects used for this hand make it look so hyper-realistic. It's impressive stuff, truly, but in season 2, they actually give Thing a little character arc. He is revealed to be the right hand of Isaac Knight, and there are scenes and moments where he feels like he's not appreciated in the Addams Family, so they do a lot with him. He has a whole journey. They really make you feel for a hand. Impressive stuff, I'd say, from a writing standpoint. I love Thing so much. I'm going right here. I'm putting Thing over a lot of human characters, but you just feel for Thing, right? It reminds me of what they're able to do with like a baby Groot or Grogu from The Mandalorian. There's like this weirdly cute factor with the hand, and you feel bad for him. He's kind of like a puppy, and you know what I mean? Next, we have Bianca Barclay, character who has a lot to do in season 1. Her and Wednesday are like rivals, but by the end, they come together, and in season 2, they work together often. I'm going A tier with Bianca Barclay. I'll put her like right here. Pretty damn high for me. She is a siren, so her abilities as an outcast are very important in every season, and she gets intertwined with Principal Dort kind of against her will, where she has to use her siren song on people without wanting to because she has to protect her mom. So it's a tough situation she's put in, but I hope we get more of Bianca in season 3. I feel like she's a better character in season 1, but I still like what they do with her in season 2 because her and Wednesday are like allies in a sense. Next, we have Gideon, who's like the face of Morning Song. I'll go F tier with Gideon. You know, no need to have him any higher than that. Barely is in the show, and Principal Dort really is the one pulling all the strings, so he's just a face for Morning Song, but he doesn't have much to do, and his inclusion kind of feels pointless if you really think about it. Next up, we have Francoise Galpin, mother of Tyler Galpin, who's also a Hyde. This character, I feel, had a lot of mystery surrounding her, because we didn't know she was Francoise until part 2 of season 2. It was a big reveal. She ends up dying. She's trying to get the Hyde out of her own son because it's too late for her, so she knows her time is limited. Is she the best mother? Probably not. Is she a great character? Not necessarily. I think I would go like C tier with Francoise, honestly. I would put her probably somewhere in the middle of the pack. I'd put her like right here for Francoise. She has her moments to shine. The reveal is cooler than the character herself, and Isaac Knight steals all the scenes with her, in my opinion. Next, we have Augustus Stonehurst, who obviously was close with Isaac Knight and allowed him to have that lab in Iago Tower. Judy Stonehurst is his daughter, but let's be real. Augustus is barely in the show. Augustus has little to no character depth, and Augustus is dead. So I'm putting him in F tier. I'm sorry. I'm putting Augustus right here. Some characters got to go down there. I mean, what use does he really serve? Not much at all, if you want the honest truth. So he's going in F tier, and I'm not mad about it. I feel like he deserves that spot. Now, next up is Uncle Fester. What a guy. I think this is the GOAT uncle. I mean, he shows up for Wednesday no matter what. You want to rob a bank? I got you. Do you want me to pull up and go undercover at Willow Hill? I got you. This man is doing whatever it takes for family, and I appreciate that about him. Uncle Fester, when he shows up, it's always a pleasant surprise. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he steals any episode, any scene he's in. I'm going really high with Uncle Fester. I'm going S tier. Call me crazy, S tier for Fester. I'm going over these two gentlemen right here as well. Uncle Fester's the man. I can't wait for more of him in season 3. It seems like he's going to have even bigger roles. He is with Wednesday on their quest to find Enid. And the last character here is Gomez Addams, the father of the Addams family. I would say Gomez is A tier right alongside Morticia. I think Morticia edges him out for me, so I'll put him like right here. But I'm still gonna go A tier with the man. I feel like he deserves that placement. A power couple right here who definitely have a troubled past and lots of flashbacks yet to come about some of the dumb things they've gotten intertwined with and some things they've had to cover up. So they have an interesting backstory for sure, but it makes for some great flashbacks that adds to the Addams family lore in this show. But I'm saying A tier for Gomez. But that's gonna do it for this character tier list of all the Wednesday characters. What tiers would you place these characters in? Let me know in the comments down below, and of course hit that like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and if you want to fill out your own tier list, you can do so. It's linked down below in the comments and in the description of this video. Appreciate you guys for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.